Hey everybody, I'm Trevor.
I'm Arizona Yaby. But I just said something. Hopefully it was funny. It wasn't.
Oh, okay.
It didn't make any sense.
And you're watching the Anthony and Todd Show, and today we're going to be checking out the latest record by Kevin Abstract, Arizona Baby, which is the same thing as Ghetto Baby, I think. It ended up being like the same thing.
It was called Arizona Baby / Ghetto Baby for a bit, and now it's just Arizona Baby again.
Ghetto Baby was still up last time I checked.
The EPs are up, but for a while the album was called Arizona Baby, Ghetto Baby. Now it's just Arizona Baby. It's like the Scumfuck Flower Boy scenario, where it was just like, oh, this name's this, now it's this for no reason.
I'm confused. Kevin Abstract, a.k.a. Ian Simpson, is the frontman, founder of American boy band Brockhampton. Really burst onto the scene last year with their trilogy of Saturation albums. For those of you who are uncultured, that's Saturation 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, shit. I thought it went like 1, 4...
Rogue One.
Iridescence, and then Amir got kicked out.
Oh, man.
The last Amir.
And then it was Rogue One.
Then it was Rogue One. Amir died in Rogue One.
Joba, a solo story. Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about, who does Donald Glover play in Star Wars? I forget.
Lando.
Yeah, if Lando was played by Joba, and he was just white for no reason.
I think that would be hard to explain in the canon of the Star Wars universe.
The Star Wars universe is already hard to explain as it is. So that would just add some simplicity to it.
Okay. Kevin Abstract released Arizona Baby over the course of 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Where he just kept releasing little chunks. And he said he wasn't going to release an album outside of he said that Brockhampton wasn't going to do solo albums.
That was about 2 years ago. That was before Saturation 3.
Right.
Just before, on the tip of it.
And then all of a sudden he started to release a solo album. And then he said it wasn't an album because it was only a couple tracks. And then he just kept releasing a couple of not albums, very slowly. It kind of built up into one project. And then he said that Arizona Baby was a full project. Arizona Baby is 11 songs at 32 minutes, so not super long in the grand scheme of things. It's produced by Brockhampton producer Rommel Hemnani and Jack Antonoff, who is famous for his work with Bleachers and Fun.
Which was very surprising because I just don't know how he got into the scenario, where he came from. I feel like that's how he is with a lot of artists, how he appears on Lord's projects or Taylor Swift's. He just shows up in the studio. He locks himself in the studio until someone shows up. And he's like, hey, I'm going to produce your music. Let me write for you. And I was like, okay.
I think he probably just walks down the street and Lord or whoever sees him and hey, Jack Antonoff. He'll be, who, me? And then they're pull
how
him
he
in.
talks? He has a southern accent?
I think he does.
It's better than my high-pitched manic voice or whatever I was giving him. But yeah, I was not excited going into this because I felt like all the tracks kind of isolated on their own in their little EPs. While they had their merits, I feel like they weren't really impressing me as a solo project. Also, Kevin Abstract's last solo project, American Boyfriend, wasn't super noteworthy. It had decent singles, but it really didn't flow well as a project. After Iridescence, which is an album I gave a positive score at the time, but now I just feel like it's just I don't like it. I just felt like it was really messy concept wise, and all the performances were all over the place. I wasn't super interested in going this record, but after listening as a whole, I think it makes a lot of sense. If the continuity of the album just flows really well, I feel like it feels like Kevin. It feels like a strip of his personality, a bunch of different influences from soul to pop music to R&B to even funk and hip hop appear on here, and they all blend in this nice saturated form. That kind of smooth texture that you would expect from a Brockhampton project appears on here, but it's a little bit different from normal. It feels super at home to Kevin and his personality more than just a broad Brockhampton personality. Which I really enjoy. I feel like his narrative on here, it isn't too much and it isn't too little. It's just a fine line amount of where he's bringing up these topics. They can be super political, but they're not super out of his range. and it doesn't feel like he's pushing these edges. It feels at home to him. It doesn't feel like he's being over dramatic or anything, or living too far in the past. Like I feel like some of the tracks on Iridescence were for like members like Dom or Matt. He does talk about past issues, but now in a new context, like on American Problem, the second half of that, where he goes through his history and talks about how he was in a car wearing a ski mask, and goes to Tyler's Creator show and talks about how this failed love interest and kind of being a disgruntled youth, essentially trying to make his way through the come up. Is a nice introspective moment we haven't really seen from him that way, which is nice. Moments like Georgia kind of fantasize about the previous time and almost feeling like the descent, like maybe he should have gone to college because he kind of missed out on something. He missed out on those experiences. Moments like Baby Boy with Ryan Beatty just flow really well as this like passionate love ode. Not too cheesy though. That's what I really enjoy about it. It's like there's lovey-dovey moments on this album, but they don't feel like anything that just seems like, I hate to say this, too gay. It's like,
At the risk of sounding insensitive, I was getting like a little tired of Kevin on all the different Brockhampton projects because his literally only two personality traits were black and gay. And that's all he could talk about. And it wasn't like stories about like how he's felt or experiences that he's had.
They just
it's
seem
literally
like
just like
manic references.
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Like,
where this is like there's character to the disgruntledness.
It makes sense. Also, I feel like Kevin's Twitter sometimes is really exhausting.
Yeah,
if you try to keep up on it, it's really tiring, and I hate like seeing his tweets all the time because they get deleted and then they come back, and then like it's just a real process to like try to follow like what he's saying, and most of the time any of his tweets are just about his boyfriend.
Yeah.
So like I feel like we're finally getting like a more polished Kevin.
Yeah, this album
makes sense.
This album's very polished. Yeah. And that's one to credit. And I think that's the more, not that like Rommel isn't a terrific producer. He's fantastic, and I'm surprised a man of his age has as many bops as he does under his belt. But Jack Antonoff, I feel like, is the one that brings the polish over the overall shine and the aesthetic probably to this whole entire thing, or at least for the tracks he is on. Because I just feel like that smoothness is just another addition that we haven't seen yet, and the only thing that's really changed is Jack, the addition of Jack, so I'm assuming it's him. But I feel like just consistency. It reminds me a lot of what I enjoyed about Saturation 2 and Saturation 3, especially Saturation 3 when he was being introspective about like labels and stuff like that, not wanting to sign a label and just kind of being disgruntled youth. I think it comes up on here, but it doesn't, it's never too much like it was on Saturation 3, which is nice, and that's what I really enjoy about it. I think the features on this thing, Ryan Beatty, Bareface Joba, Dominic Fike, and Jack Antonoff himself appears on here. I think they all work. I like how on Peach, Bareface and Joba and Dominic Fike are all layered. I think the combination of Bareface and Joba on the background vocals are great. Dominic Fike, even though he sounds like, what's that one song? That one shitty acoustic guitar song, pop song. It's like something I'll nibble on your face or something like that. You know what it is? Jason Mraz? Is that yeah.
That's like one line.
I don't remember anything about this song except for "I'm Yours" or something like that. Is that the name of the song?
Yes.
I have no idea. All I remember is "I'll nibble on your face" or something like that because he did bath salts.
On your ear.
He's hungry. No one's fed this man. That's why he's working for money. But even though he has like a Jason Mraz type vibe, I think it kind of works on the style of the track. Listening to some of his solo work, I don't really see all the hype that much, but I feel like in this environment he really fits. Same thing with Ryan Beatty. We reviewed Boy in Jeans, and it felt like kind of just the mash of too many influences, but on this with Kevin, I feel like they pair up into a nice pair. Baby Boy, them trading verses and styles really feels like breathless and flowing. Reminds me a lot of the last Blood Orange album. Just seems big, bold, extravagant, like it's a magnum opus of sorts. Yeah, Jack Antonoff's appearance on Crumble, and also I think the production on Peach really showcases a Bleacher vibe of their last album. I think it's Known Now or something like that, something along the lines of that. And it just seems very grand, cheerful. I like the cheerful moments on here. That kind of like top of the morning kind of sun shining through your window, like good day type feel that are on a couple of these tracks that I got from the last Bleachers record. I feel like shine through, and it works actually better here than they did on the last Bleachers record. The only thing, like the biggest thing I can critique this album is that the first 3 tracks just don't really shine as much, and then Boyer, while I feel like it sounds like a traditional Brockhampton track, it's too short and it doesn't really leave us on a good closer.
Yeah.
I don't think that, not that the track's not enjoyable by any means, I just feel like it just doesn't really take us anywhere, and then this thing just kind of ends for nothing. Just no build up, just it's over after a 2-minute track. I think that's my biggest complaints. Big Wheels, Joyride, and Georgia aren't bad. I just feel like they just need to be spread out more over the course of the album. And listening them to on their own in the Arizona Baby EP, it just seems out of place with the rest of everything. I like them. I just wish this thing got more into the heavier tracks earlier. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think this is a solid composition for Kevin. And I while I wasn't looking forward to this record, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, and it surprised me the same way the first Saturation did. I think in terms of Brockhampton's discography, this stands up with some of the best. While I don't think it's better than Saturation 2 and 3, I really enjoy it a lot more than I did Saturation 1 or Kevin's American Boyfriend. So, yeah, I'm really impressed by this solo album. I hope we get another Brockhampton album soon, or maybe like another solo album from another...
a Joba album.
Joba, Matt Champion, someone. Joba would be cool because he just... No, Marilyn. Marilyn would be cool because he's just screaming for like 40 minutes inside of it like a dumpster.
I think that you're thinking of Death Grips.
What if you just switched out Marilyn and Death Grips?
And nobody would know.
No one would notice. Just put a black hoodie on. Just do it super
Like
tight.
the Doom impersonators that he would send. Except for it's literally just Merlin Woods as MC Ride. And it has the black hoodie. You'd never know.
Yeah. Keeping in mind that all scores are pointless and futile right now, I think this is an 8. I think this is a solid, fat, thick 8 out of 10. I enjoyed this thing a lot, and I'm really excited for the future of Brockhampton.
I think I'm going to give it about the same.
About the same out of 10.
No, I'm going to give it a solid, fat, thick out of 10.
Yeah, put more emphasis.
Solid, fat, thick.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's the right amount of emphasis. Yeah, I don't think I really have anything else to say. So until next time, guys, I'm Vincent.
I'm Trevor.
And see you, boyos.
Bye, everybody.